Hello everyone and welcome back. Wisteria here, and we're actually going a little bit more traditional now that we've done with the Shropshire folk tales, because we're going to what we can, I suppose, assume are traditional fairy tales, because in between those I intend to do the twisted tales. So I figured, well, it'd be a good idea to do more traditional ones so that people can understand where the twist might happen, just in case some don't know. So we're going to go ahead with Aladdin and the Wonderful Lamp, but this is actually, it's an extract from the Arabian Nights entertainments. There once lived a poor tailor who had a son called Aladdin, a careless, idle boy who would do nothing but play all day. He would play in the streets with little idle boys just like himself. This grieved his father, that he died. Yet, in spite of his mother's tears and prayers, Aladdin did not mend his ways. One day, when he was playing in the streets as usual, a stranger asked him his age and if he was a son of Mustafa, the tailor. "I am, sir," replied Aladdin, "but he died a long while ago." On this, the stranger, who was a famous African magician, hugged him and kissed him, saying, "I am your uncle. I recognized you because you look so like my brother. You must go to your mother and tell her I am coming." Aladdin ran home, told his mother of the new-found uncle and that he was on his way. "Indeed, child," she said, "your father had a brother, but I always thought he was dead." However, she prepared supper, told Aladdin to get ready to welcome his uncle. The strange man came, laden with gifts of wine and fruit. He kissed the place where Mustafa used to sit, bidding Aladdin's mother not to be surprised at not having seen him before, as he had been out of the country for 40 years. He then turned to Aladdin and asked him his trade, at which the young boy hung his head, while his mother burst into tears. On learning that Aladdin was idle and refused to learn a trade, he offered to rent a shop for him and stock it for him. The very next day, he bought Aladdin a fine suit of clothes and took him all over the city, showing him many sights. At nightfall, he brought Aladdin home to his mother, who was overjoyed to see her son so fine. On the following day, he led Aladdin into some beautiful gardens a long way outside the city gates. They sat down by a fountain, and the magician pulled a cake from his girdle, which he divided between them. They then journeyed onwards till they almost reached the mountains. Aladdin was so tired that he begged to go back, but the magician won him over with pleasant stories and led him on. At last, they came to 2 mountains, divided by a narrow valley. "We will go no further," said the false uncle. "I will show you something wonderful. You gather up sticks while I kindle a fire." When it was lit, the magician threw a powder on it, and at the same time saying some magical words, the earth trembled a little and opened in front of them to show a square flat stone with a brass ring in the middle to raise it by. Aladdin tried to run away, but the magician caught him and gave him a blow that knocked him down to the floor. "What have I done, uncle?" Aladdin begged. The magician replied more kindly, "Fear nothing, but obey me. Beneath this stone lies a treasure which is to be yours, and no one else may touch it. So you must do as I tell you, but you must do directly as I tell you. Exactly as I tell you." At the word treasure, Aladdin forgot his fears and grasped the ring as he was told, saying the names of his father and grandfather. The stone came up quite easily, and some steps appeared. "Go down," said the magician. "At the front of those steps you will find a door leading into 3 large holes. Tuck up your gown and go through them without touching anything, or you will die instantly. These holes lead into a garden of fine fruit trees. Walk on till you come to an alcove in a terrace. There you will find stands a lighted lamp. Pour out the oil it contains. Bring the lamp to me." The magician threw a ring from his finger and gave it to Aladdin, wishing him good luck. Nervously, Aladdin crept down the stairs. He found everything as the magician had said. He gathered some fruit off the trees, got the lamp, and hurried back to the mouth of the cave. The magician cried out, "Make haste and give me the lamp." Aladdin, though, had become quite suspicious. "Only when I'm safely out of the cave," he pulled back and yelled that to his uncle. The magician flew into a terrible rage, throwing some more powder on the fire. He said more magic words, and the stone rolled back into its place. The magician then left Persia forever, which plainly showed that he was no uncle of Aladdin's. He was a cunning magician who had read in his magic books of a wonderful lamp, which would make him the most powerful man in the world. Though he alone knew where to find it, he could only receive it from the hand of another. He had picked out the foolish Aladdin for this purpose, intending to get the lamp and kill him afterwards. For the next days, Aladdin remained in the dark cave. He cried and he wailed. No one could hear him. At last, he clasped his hands in prayer, and, in doing so, rubbed the ring, which the magician had forgotten to take from him. Immediately, an enormous and frightful genie rose out of it, saying, "What do you want from me? I am the slave of the ring, and will obey you in all things." Aladdin fearlessly replied, "Deliver me from this place," whereupon the earth opened, and then he found himself outside. As soon as his eyes could bear the light, he hurried on home, where he then fainted, actually, from exhaustion and shock the minute that he went through the front door. So he was bedridden for a little while until he came to his senses. And when he finally did come to, he told his mother the whole story of what had happened. And then he showed her the lamp and the fruits he had gathered in the garden, which were in reality precious stones. They were not fruits at all. He then asked for some food. "Alas, child," she said, "a cupboard's bare, but I have spun a little cotton and will go and sell it." "No," Aladdin protested. "You keep the cotton. I'll go and sell this rusty old lamp instead." The lamp was indeed very dirty. Aladdin's mother began to rub it to clean it, so that it might fetch a higher price. Instantly, though, a hideous genie once again appeared and asked what she wanted. She fainted, but Aladdin, snatching the lamp, said boldly, "Fetch us something to eat." The genie returned with a silver bowl, 12 silver plates containing rich meals, 2 silver cups, and 2 bottles of wine. Aladdin's mother came too, couldn't believe her eyes. "Wherever did all this come from?" she said. "Don't ask, mother, just eat," Aladdin replied. But he was grinning. So they sat and they tucked in, and Aladdin told his mother about the lamp. She begged him to sell it and have nothing to do with devils. "No," said Aladdin, "Luck has brought it to me, so we will use it. And the ring too." When they had eaten everything the genie had brought them, Aladdin sold the silver plates. He then summoned the genie, who gave him another set of plates. They lived like this for many and many years. You see, the genie was at their beck and call, in the ring and in the lamp. That's 2 genies as slaves, making them jinn. He was in charge of jinn, and depending on your beliefs, of course, that could be good or it could be bad. When Aladdin finally died, unfortunately, he went to hell because he had enslaved jinns and they had given him all he wanted in life, yes, but for the price of his soul. Everyone knows everything comes at a price, and if you're going to use something like that for the majority of your life, I am pretty sure it's a big price to pay. The end. Thank you for listening, guys, to Aladdin and his wondrous lamp. Although maybe it should be Aladdin and his ring and lamp, I'm not sure. Please hit that like, share if you can, and if you've not yet subscribed, please consider doing so because I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much and many blessings.